are at the Yvonne Arnaud Theatre. Just one more day to go until Jack and the Beanstalk opens on the main stage, featuring him as Dame Dolly Trott. The wig is away.
It is. Well, several wigs are away, actually.
Are you ready?
I am. What, generally? Am I ready? Yes. We're as we're talking today, we're sort of in the last 24 hours, I suppose, of rehearsals, which is always the bit where it's very intense because you're doing things far more than you normally do when you're doing the rehearsal of the real performance. So everything's a little bit all over the place. But it's very exciting because you do know that, because time marches on, you do know that at a certain stage, the curtain goes up, it's a real performance, you're ready to go. So it's all sort of channeling in on that. So it's quite tense. You're still having to sort of learn bits and pieces and all the rest of it. You're then coping with the costumes. You're then obviously looking at the makeup and bits and pieces as well. So, it gets a bit mad, but it's really good.
And how is Dame Dolly compared to your other dames?
Well, I've done a couple of Ugly Sisters, and then last year was Nursey Nora, who was of a character of her own. I think Dame Dolly is a little bit freer in life. I think there's a sort of, to go along with the greenery of Jack and the Beanstalk, generally, I think there's a sort of Earth Mother feel to Dame Dolly, sort of, slightly quirkily.
And a couple of faces, obviously, that we've seen before are going to be back. Jane Brooks back, Kit as well. How are the newbies settling in?
Well, the interesting thing is, and funny enough, amongst the guys who are in the chorus line as well, we've actually got a few people that have also done it over the years before. I think about half of them have already been at other ones. So there's once again a real sort of family feeling here. Dilly, of course, Dilly Keane, who's come to join us this year as Fairy Fairway. There's a bit of a golfing connection, clearly. She's fantastic. It's great. I think it's really good when you have someone who's top of the bill. It's a bit like Josie last year. When you have someone who's top of the bill, who's just generally a nice person, but also is obviously highly talented, it really sort of drops down for the rest of the cast, and everyone sort of follows the lead. So newbies doing well, and the oldies, including yours truly, coping again as well.
And I've heard as well, Dilly and Kit have worked together before.
Yeah,
so
they have.
There's a good chemistry
and are regularly working together around this time as well. So yes, there's good chemistry there. There's a bit of friendly competition in sort of wordsmith world, and I think what's great about that is that's a very Surrey thing, and it's a sort of quite a Guildfordy thing as well. So that definitely worked.
What are the bits to look out for?
I think there's a lot. There's masses to look out for, to be honest with you. I'm rather hoping, and I think, the Arno have always been really good at this, is that when you enter into the auditorium to watch the show, and then the scenery comes up and the lighting and everything, because it's such a special auditorium space, I call it the Loftus Road of the theatre world, being a QPR fan. When you go down and watch QPR, you're right on top of the action, and it feels like that when you're in the Arno, and I think the moment things start, you're just drawn into it all. But obviously, the Beanstalk, obviously that's going to appear at some point, isn't it? It's always worth watching out for that moment. A lot of people wonder whether or not, are we going to do the same slapstick and bits and pieces? There's some same slapstick, there's some very new slapstick, and indeed some of the things that you're going to see on the stage if you come along and watch the show, which is really great about this theatre, is that they've been made here. Some of the contraptions, the bits and pieces, the furniture, all sorts of stuff have been made by the in-house team here.